Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, and welcome to our Day of Appreciation, Gratitude for Caregivers of Crime Victims. This is a time to recognize the caregivers in law enforcement, the criminal justice system, and elsewhere, whose mission is to help victims and their families cope and rebuild their lives. Several of our leaders are here today to salute your work. Before we hear from them, please rise for the presentation of colors by the award-winning MNPD Drill and Ceremony Team, the Pledge of Allegiance, and then the singing of our national anthem by Sergeant Robert Croteau.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Order, off! Ready, fight!
And please remain standing for the invocation. We welcome Marcia Brown, a member of the police department's chaplain team that provides emotional care to family members grieving the loss of a loved one.
Good morning, and let us pray. Holy God, we come to you today with hearts filled with gratitude. I look around in this room, a room that is filled with those who serve selflessly, never complaining and always putting the needs of others before their own. When those you serve are discouraged or have lost hope, you stare straight into their darkness, and you provide a light of hope. Many times this energy and fight are for those who have no voice. Your hearts are humble, full of care. You're always listening and are a safe place for others to land. Anne Winholt said it beautifully. Gift us, Lord, with humility of those who care beyond knowing and being known, who give their time ungrudgingly with simple and wordless presence, who listen like the patient dawn holding its breath, anticipating birdsong even from a dark and starless sky. The positions you hold aren't just for anyone. You have been called to serve. These positions can only be filled by those who have your heart. Without you, there is so much that would not get done. Many lives would not be touched, healed, or restored. Your work restores hope to lives that have been tragically wounded. Your work often leaves you feeling depleted, but your servant's heart is not fulfilled without giving. A servant's heart often gets unrecognized and is overlooked. You do this not for praise or recognition, but to find justice and healing for those you serve. Today we say thank you. We see you. We recognize and honor you. God, help these servants to remember that their work is not in vain. And God, as they look into the faces of those they serve, I ask that they can see their accomplishments there. And everyone said, amen.
Thank you. Please be seated. We are grateful for the amazingly talented members of the Music City Strings who are joining us for the second year in a row. And we look forward now to some more great music. The Music City Strings. It's now my privilege to introduce Mayor Freddie O'Connell. From his swearing in of 204 new police officers from 13 classes since taking office, including the graduation of 34 just yesterday, to supporting our men and women on the streets, to advocating for victim intervention and counseling programs, Mayor O'Connell is an engaged partner of our police department as we all work to enhance public safety across Nashville. Please welcome Mayor Freddie O'Connell.
Don, thank you. It's a special honor to be here at this event. This is one of those great, important occasions, and I want to give special thanks to the Metro Nashville Police Department for getting us together to celebrate first responders working hand in hand with second responders. And so to those first responders, Chief Drake, Director Chief Swan, with our police department, our fire department, thank you for the strong partnership you have with one another and for how you serve the city. Unsurprisingly, in the Vanderbilt University poll that was just released that surveys the city's perspectives every single year, our police and fire departments continue to enjoy broad public support. And that is important for the work that they and we do together. It takes a partnership between our first responders and among our criminal justice and committed residents to keep us all safe. So to that end, thanks to the Office of the Attorney General, thanks to our Office of Family Safety led by Diane Lance, also for joining us this morning with all of you. And fundamentally, today is a day of appreciation for everyone involved in helping victims become healthy survivors. And I am here simply to say thank you. Your work and service is so necessary, especially because we go through not just individual processes of grief, but we go through community processes of grief. We are currently still grieving for the Antioch High School community, the Covenant School community, and for all of our neighbors who have to pick up the pieces after another homicide or incident of violent crime. For them, we must stay focused on the progress of safety. And this is why we continue to lean into this work with intention. I recently signed Executive Order 53, creating Nashville's first Office of Youth Safety. This is also why we have continued to expand availability of gun locks at police stations and metro health clinics. It's why we're pushing on better crime prevention tools, staffing levels at our police department, and increasing mental and behavioral health supports like never before. Now, we hope this is showing. Violent crime is down 12%, property crime is down 8%, and crime is down 9.6% overall, including auto theft down 18%, continuing a trend that started last year. We know that leadership in law enforcement is important to this progress, and we also know that even in signs of that progress, statistics are a little consolation to any victim of crime. And we have to continue to make progress to reduce the number of victims of crime for that very reason. We see it in new approaches within the police department. They have just launched a new D detail, a flex unit that helps precincts across the city and allows officers to be where they are most needed at the times that they are most needed. D detail is already working as a force multiplier within the department. There's also progress in the collaborative work being done, again, with partnerships of first and second responders. Our Partners in Care program with Metro Health Department, Metro Nashville Police, and the Mental Health Cooperative is now operating countywide in every police precinct. Co-responder units with specially trained officers paired with mental health clinicians are showing results. Just last year, the Partners in Care program responded to 21,625 total calls for service, and 56% of the mental health calls resolved at the person's residence. Similarly, the Nashville Fire Department has joined in a partnership program called REACH. Just last year, 84% of people served through REACH avoided an ambulance ride, 70% avoided a trip to the emergency department, and these mean bills they didn't have to pay in both healthcare and first responder services that were not something that the city had to respond to. Beyond those co-responder programs, our 988 program continues to be a vital resource for the community, offering mental health support when it is needed at its most timely periods. We recently celebrated the 10-year anniversary of the first court-based family justice center in the country, the Gene Crow Advocacy Center, and the 5-year anniversary of the first governmental department focused on victims of interpersonal violence, the Office of Family Safety. Today, there are more than 40 people in our Behavioral Health and Wellness Division of the Metro Public Health Department. Just 2 years ago, we only had 6 people in that domain. So we are making huge strides as we add mental and behavioral health supports. And of course, federal funding uncertainty is a big challenge to us in this moment and moving forward, but our local investment in both safety and recovery is non-negotiable, and safety remains the top job of this government. I want to share something Vanderbilt University Medical Center President Jeff Balser recently told his staff, because I think it is a great reminder and call to action for us all. In this chaotic atmosphere, our success will depend upon many things, but two are fundamental: remaining focused on the people we serve and sustaining our trust and support for one another. So thank you all for the work that you do, allowing us to celebrate that work today. It is an honor as your mayor to be with you. Thank you.
Nashville Police Chief John Drake is a Nashville native who just last month celebrated his 37th anniversary with this police department. It was Chief Drake who had the idea for a ceremony like this, which reflects his true concern for the persons impacted by crime and those who work to help them. Please welcome Chief John Drake.
Good morning, everyone. It's so good to see you all here for the 4th annual ceremony for the appreciation of caregivers. When I first started thinking about this program, I wanted to make sure we did something to honor the men and women who operate behind the scenes. Our men and women in uniform and as detectives get a lot of credit, and rightfully so, for what they do. But the unsung heroes don't. You're the ones that talk to people, meet people at their worst moment, at the intersection where they don't know where to go, who to turn to, when the person they love harms them, when the children are harmed, and all these things. You are the ones that are there for them, and I wanted to make sure we had an appreciation day for you. Thank you to Mayor O'Connell for being here, Office of Family Safety Director Diane Lance. General Funk is not here, but he has, they didn't tell me who was coming in, so good to see you. Chief Swan, as always, I always say my brother from another mother. We talk all the time. The partnership between Chief Swan and I is a very, very important one. The roles we play together, but we're also friends. We call each other and we talk in the mornings, we talk on weekends, we'll talk in the evenings. It may not be about anything, but it's just that friendship that we have together, and we do a lot of great work. So thank you for being here as well. And then also to Cindy Fagan for joining us here. It's a small world as we greeted each other this morning. She knows one of my family members, and my family member's husband is going through cancer and going through a lot right now, and it's just a small world. And thank you for being here and sharing your story as well. I'm humbled knowing this audience is made up of the unsung heroes of the criminal justice system. You are the persons helping families and victims through unthinkable times, and this trauma goes with them days, weeks, months, and years after a crime occurs. You're the persons who are counseling children who have been physically and sexually abused, and family members who continue to mourn the loss of loved ones to criminal violence. I was at a ceremony on Sunday, and a very good friend of mine, Ed Wisdom, whose father was killed in 2011. Ed Wisdom and I go back about 30 years when I started the Police Athletic League. I needed coaches and I needed mentors to help young men that were in, a lot of times in bad situations, bad neighborhoods. And Ed stepped up to volunteer and has kids, so young men and women now that are doing a lot of great things. But he talked about his father. His father had been killed in 2011, and he stood up and he gave a speech without any notes, without any prompts, and he recounted the time when he got the phone call to go to his house and see where his father had been killed. All these years later, the pain is still with him. He held up a picture of his family. The family showed himself, his wife, his sisters, and others, and the father who was missing. And I could still feel his pain all these years later. And so if it wasn't for you all and what you do, I would wonder where my friend would be, how he would be, what state of mind would he be in if it wasn't for the help that you provide. You are the persons who counsel with victims of domestic violence and helping them through abusive relationships. I'm very much aware of our police department and our licensed counselors who have provided over 1,300 therapy sessions this year alone. How many people are being helped by that? In planning for our annual day, I told my team I just wanted to pause and take a minute to thank each of you for what you do. And so if everyone don't mind, let's give all of our unsung heroes a hand, please. I'm in awe of the work being done, but I'm also thankful. I'm thankful for what you do every day. We have our 3 core pillars in our police department. It's been excellent as an organization: community engagement and precision policing. Identifying those people who are committing the harm, engaging those so people can know our hearts, not just as police officers, but our hearts throughout this community. And your hearts really show as I look at the sign that says, "We care." Everyone knows in our department that you care, but I think more people need to know how much care and how much you really do. Yours is a special calling to those in needs in horrible times, and you are making a difference in people's lives. As I go around Nashville and I get thanks for all the things that we're doing as a police department, I want people to know how valued you are and how much I value the people that work for us and with us. And with that, I want to say thank you, and I'm truly grateful for everything that you do. Thank you.
Nashville Fire Department Director Chief Will Swan was appointed chief in 2018 and is a 29-year veteran of Nashville Fire. He leads a team of 1,200 first responders. They are the caregivers who victims see joining with police officers on the scenes of tragic events. Chief Will Swan.
Well, good morning. It's always a pleasure to be here. I see, of course, the mayor, Diana, and Chief Drake, and we know the DA's office, and so many others. Loved your prayer, by the way. And then all these distinguished guests. When I came in this morning, someone said, "How are you doing, Chief?" I said, "I've never felt more protected and comfortable." So thank you guys for that. So really, today my job is pretty easy because from heartfelt, just to say thank you for all the work that you guys do. And nothing is relevant until it affects you personally. But once it affects you personally, then it matters. It matters in a special way. So for the caregivers, I really just want you to understand that you matter. And we truly appreciate you. I didn't write that down because I didn't have to. But let me get into my speech. As the chief of the fire department and Office of Emergency Management, it is both, again, an honor and a privilege for me to stand here today to recognize the incredible work of individuals like you, our caregivers of crime victims. You are the silent heroes in our communities, standing steadfast in the face of adversity, offering support, comfort, and unwavering compassion to those who have been affected by crime. Your work does not always make the headlines, but it is vital and critical to the healing process and to restore a sense of hope in the lives of victims and their families. In moments of tragedy and uncertainty, it is often your gentle presence that make a difference. You offer a listening ear, a helping hand, and a heartfelt understanding that can ease the burden of those grappling with pain and loss. For those affected by crime, your support can be the first step on the long road of recovery. as we reflect on the courageous work you do, remember, you do not stand alone. The Nashville Fire Department, the Office of Emergency Management, is committed to being a strong partner with you, along with many others in this great city. Together, we create a community that is not only safe, but also nourishing and responsive to the needs of all of its members. The strength of our city lies in the bond we forge. And in these moments of crisis, these bonds are tested. But I am continually inspired by the resilience exhibited by our caretakers like you, who go above and beyond to uplift others. Your service is a reminder of our collective responsibility to support one another, particularly those in their most vulnerable moments. Today, we express our deepest gratitude. Thank you for your compassion that you show, the lives you touch, and the hope you instill in our community. Let us continue to work together to ensure that every individual affected by crime is met with the care and support they deserve. Together, we can foster an environment where healing is possible and everyone feels valued and supported. Thank you for your commitment, and thank you for being the incredible human being that you are. And remember, everything that you do, it matters, and people do care. A lot of times you may not hear it. Maybe you don't see it, but just know it matters. And when people come into your life, they either take away something or they bring something. You are important, and thank you for who you are. Thank you.
Representing Nashville District Attorney Glenn Funk this morning is Megan King, the team leader in Criminal Court Division 3. Megan has been with the DA's office for 17 years and has worked in the general sessions and criminal courts and was a prosecutor in the vehicle crimes unit. A number of advocates are part of the district attorney's office to help victims in the navigation of the legal process. Please welcome Assistant District Attorney Megan King.
Good morning, everyone. So General Funk is out of town today, and so he was unable to attend, so he asked that I come and represent the office. So thank you to the police department for having us, for allowing us to speak, and for putting on this great event. So the Nashville District Attorney's Office is committed to supporting victims. Whenever we meet with victims, we ask two questions. How are you hurt, and what do you need? Our office is blessed to have a fantastic group of victim witness coordinators. They are one of the largest groups in our office. They help victims navigate the difficult journey, not only by explaining the criminal court process, but also by being a shoulder to cry on. When families hurt, they hurt as well. They're compassionate, they're caring, and we're so thankful for them and their work assisting and supporting victims and their families. The DA's office is also fortunate to have a relationship with our amazing partner agencies, the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department under the leadership of Chief Drake, Tennessee Voices for Victims, the Office of Family Safety, the Nashville Children's Alliance, You Have the Power, and many others. And we're so appreciative of the work that you all do, and we're thankful for the relationship that we have with you. So on behalf of the Davidson County District Attorney's Office, I want to thank everyone here that helps victims on their road to becoming healthy survivors. Thank you all.
Diane Lance is the director of Nashville's Office of Family Safety and oversees operations of our city's Family Safety Center, which opened in March 2019 as the nation's largest and most comprehensive provider of services to victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, human trafficking, and child abuse. Diane has worked for years to help victims, both in her current role and as a former prosecutor in the District Attorney's Office. Please welcome Ms. Diane Lance.
So I know I speak for everyone here when I really stop and want to thank the police department, Chief Drake, and all your people for setting aside this time each year to appreciate all of those that have dedicated our careers to work beside you and caring for victims of violent crime. And I really deeply appreciate that I get asked to do this each year, which I now remember is 4 years, because it actually serves as a personal marker in my life for the passage of time and what's on my mind each year. So I really spend a lot of time like, what is really pressing on me this year? And in working on my remarks for today, Antioch High School and the Covenant mass shooting anniversary were what was weighing heavily in my heart when I wrote down what I wanted to say. So I decided that what I want to talk about is grief, in particular about how trauma and grief are so intertwined in the work that we do, that we all do, and how incredibly hard that work is and how very needed that work is. Grief is the most universal human experience. Unfortunately, and I really hate this truth, we are all going to deeply grieve someone during our lifetime, and we will all attempt to support someone else suffering through a great loss. Devastating grief will, if it is not already, touch us all, and possibly, and unfortunately, many times. But helping yourself or someone else through grief is incredibly hard because grief is as personal as a fingerprint. No two people experience it the same way. It is shaped by personality, life experience, culture, and of course, the very nature of the loss. My own grief, when my 55-year-old husband died suddenly at the gym, is very different than my friend's grief, whose husband died over the course of a long, hard, protracted illness in old age, which is different from the grief a sibling feels for a brother killed by a drunken driver, or from a child whose parent died by suicide, and different still from the grief of a parent whose child was shot and killed at school. While the grief may be different from person to person and situation to situation, what is the same for everyone suffering the agony of a traumatic loss is a complete sense of aloneness. Not alone in life. I myself had a lot of supportive friends and family and wonderful coworkers when my husband died. So I wasn't alone in life, but I was very alone in the pain for years. And to be honest, to some extent, I remain so even today. And there are a lot of reasons for this type of aloneness and horrible grief. And one of those reasons is that it's really hard to be around a griever. Because grief is not an experience with a beginning and an end. It just keeps going as a new way of being in life. Just like I'm a mom, I'm a widow, I'm an attorney, I'm a dog lover, I am a really bad cook, and an extremely whining kayaker. But I'm also a griever, and I always will be, in whatever form that takes in my life each day. Helping a griever, especially one experiencing traumatic grief, requires a high level of staying power and fortitude that most people around us just don't have. But you all do. All of you do. And we see your staying power every day in your work, even at a deep and personal sacrifice. And those of you that do this work, you know it. It is a deep and personal sacrifice that takes a tremendous toll. And your level of staying power is just so essential because grieving and the deep longing and yearning for the person or part of yourself to come back to you is the worst feeling to experience and the worst feeling to be around for someone else. I don't honestly have a good enough vocabulary to give that experience of devastating loss justice, so I'm going to pull from C.S. Lewis's book, A Grief Observed, where he journaled his grief in the aftermath of his wife's death. I pulled this quote from my own copy of the book, and it's a passage. When I found it, I realized I'd underlined, starred, and dog-eared the pages so many times during my own struggles. Tonight, all the hells of young grief have opened up again. The mad words, the bitter resentment, the fluttering in the stomach, the nightmare unreality, the wallowed in tears. For in grief, nothing stays put. One keeps on emerging from a phase, but it always recurs. Round and round, everything repeats. Am I going in circles, or dare I hope I'm on a spiral? But if a spiral, am I going up or down? How often will it be for always? How often will the vast emptiness astonish me like a complete novelty and make me say, I never realized this loss until this very moment? The same leg is cut off time and time again. The first plunge of the knife into the flesh is felt again and again. I mean, really, who wants to hang out with that for even a minute, let alone over the long haul? Even grievers actually get sick of listening to themselves cry. So whether you're working with a survivor of domestic violence, sexual assault, robbery, or the family of a homicide victim, grief storms into their life and makes itself at home. And victims of these violent crimes will experience this complex grief for the loss of the person they loved, for the loss of the part of themselves, something fundamental and deep inside that they can't get back, or the loss of their trust in the world around them. Someone does not have to die to experience and be devastated by grief. We grieve what we do not have anymore, but we deeply need to our core. And in the aftermath of these violent crimes, people call for you, the secondary responders. First responders, we've got a bunch of them here, run towards the danger to eliminate the threat, secure the safety of everyone in the vicinity. In the case of a fire, a first responder runs towards the flames and pulls people away. Secondary responders who we're celebrating today are different. You are the ones who walk into the flames and stay in the flames with that survivor while their world continues to burn down from the inside. And you stay in those flames for weeks, months, and years. And it is not easy to sit in an all-consuming inferno with someone over the long haul. Here is a description I found on how grief evolves over time with professionals like you helping and tending to those flames. At one time, my fire was full of rage. It was huge, almost out of control, ready to jump out of the pit and spread destruction that would be devastating to all those around me. That fire then turned into a steady burning, wood stove type of fire, intense, hot, powerful, but contained. It stayed that way for many years while I grieved. It slowly diminished, occasionally firing up for short periods, still bringing tears and heaving sobs as gusts of memories came to the surface. For this last year, my fire pit now contains glowing embers. The grief is still there and will likely always be there until I die. My grief is part of my life now. My grief is in me. It just doesn't overpower me most of the times, but it lives there just below the surface, ingrained in my cells. The long-term workers in this room know how to help transform the raging flames of grief into a containable smolder. And that is, for anyone that's grieved, that is such a gift. And you do that by tending to the flames rather than trying to smother them out. In contrast to the patience that you bring to the grief work you do, well-meaning loved ones often try to hurry the pain away with statements meant to cheer up or convince them that the pain isn't as bad as they think it is. They're in a better place now. What's unspoken is, so it's not that bad. You are stronger than you think, unspoken, so it's time to start feeling better. It was his time. unspoken, so stop wishing it never happened. They're watching you from heaven, unspoken, just be happy for them. They would not want you to suffer or be sad, unspoken, so stop suffering and being sad. You were fortunate to have the time you had together, unspoken, so move on. And my personal favorite, you'll remarry, unspoken, so get on with it. And that type of gaslighting, regardless how well-intentioned it may be, is what makes grievers feel so very alone in this world. But you, as their advocate, their case managers, their therapists, are often the only ones that truly stay and do the important and absolutely necessary work of bearing witness to their pain, validating their pain, normalizing their pain, and showing patience with their pain, and affirming that grief has no right way and there is no timeline, and that grief cannot be fixed, it can only be attended to and carried. And this is how you do the truly miraculous work, and I am not saying that word miraculous lightly, I promise, in guiding, and I really like that word, guiding your clients to a tamer way that grief can live in their lives going forward. And my last quote by Donna Ashworth best describes this new state of being as grief guides, what you are creating. You are helping your clients reach this. You must shake hands with grief. Welcome her in, for she lives with you now. Pull her up a chair at the table and offer her comfort. She is not the monster you first thought her to be. She is love, and she will walk with you now, stay with you now peacefully if you let her. And on the days when your anger is high, remember why she came. Remember who she represents. Remember, grief came to you, my friend, because love came first. Grief is love with no place to go. It is a masterpiece of commitment on each of your all's part to guide people to that point and giving their love for what was lost a place to be and helping their grief find a welcoming and manageable place to settle in and live. To a place where life will be worth living again, and allowing hope to become ever present, and giving them the ability to have moments of true joy and celebration, and give those moments room to emerge and grow. Your work gives the most suffering people their lives back. There is no gift as complicated, pure, and important than that. And truly, thank you for the gift of you, your talent, and your enormous courage and heart in the work that you do.
Laura Beth Harden is a police crisis counselor. When families are going through the most unimaginable situations, thank God that folks like Laura are there to offer comfort and help. I'll now call upon Laura to introduce this morning's guest speaker.
Good morning, everyone. It is my great honor and privilege to introduce our guest speaker. Her name is Cindy Fagan. So a little introduction. She's a Nashville native who works in the health information management field. She is active in the community with her family, some of which are here today, her church, women's group, health and wellness activities, as well as advocacy. Cindy enjoys times with her 3 daughters and her 1 grandson who keeps her active and on her toes. Cindy initially came to seek Nashville's victim advocacy services following an extended period of domestic violence. Cindy was made aware of FIP counseling services by the responding Metro Nashville Police Department officers for a domestic violence-related incident. Shortly after, Cindy began receiving counseling here with Metro Nashville's Police Department Family Intervention Program. And she looks forward to continuing to bring awareness to domestic violence, as well as advocate for those who feel as though they must suffer in silence. Cindy is happy for the opportunity to share her experiences and appreciation at today's event. So without further ado, Cindy.
Thank you, Lord. Good morning, and thank you for that introduction. My name is Cindy Fagan. I was born in Cleveland, Ohio, and I moved to Tennessee at an early age. I have 3 sisters. One is here today. She's Lolita. She works in human resources. I have 3 daughters and 1 grandson. 2 of my daughters are here. My youngest, right there, her name is Trinity. She's a junior at Austin Peay University, majoring in education. And my other daughter, there she is, Kayla. She's a nurse here, registered nurse here in Nashville. I think about legacy and what I like to pass on to my children and family and friends. Kayla is in the healthcare field. She graduated from Lipscomb University, and she went on a mission trip to Africa in 2023 to give immunization to children. So the next mission trip, I will be there with her. So, I'm a graduate from Tennessee State University. My roots and family history with TSU run deep. In fact, my great cousin, he attended Tennessee State University when it was known as ANI, the Agricultural and Industrial State Normal College. Additionally, I have been an instructor at Tennessee State University and Nashville State Community College. I consider myself a lifelong learner. I'm also active at my church, my local church, 15th Avenue Baptist Church, located 1203 9th Avenue North, where we are getting better together. Acts 2:42 through 47, with the senior pastor, Reverend Byron A. Jackson, and executive pastor, Jalen T. Oliver. I would like to begin to share the lyrics of a song that has helped me through. I would also like to encourage you to take some time to read it. I pray that it touches you the way that it touched me. The song is called I Never Would Have Made It by Marvin Sapp. Never would have made it. Never could have made it without you. I would have lost it all. But now I see that you were there for me, and I can say I never would have made it. Never could have made it without you. I would have lost it all. But now I see that you were there for me, and I can say I'm stronger, I'm wiser, I'm better, much better. When I look back over what you've brought me through, I can truly say that I can count on you. So that's enough for that. But I just wanted you to know. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's get started. Okay. I would like to share an alarming stat. When I was looking on the website for domestic violence, and in 2025, there's an estimated 1 in 4 women and 1 in 9 men in the United States, they will experience intimate partner violence, with over 10 million people affected annually by rape, physical violence, and stalking by an intimate partner. I have actually been involved in 2 domestic violent relationships with a male partner. The first relationship lasted 2 years, and the last relationship lasted for 4 years. After my first abusive relationship, I had the honor of being a resident at the Mary Parrish Center. The executive director, Mary Catherine, and director of programs, Deborah Lambert, worked extensively to help me find permanent and safe housing, while they provided me with on-site therapy. So that was my first initial therapy going on. So I had the pleasure at that time of briefly meeting Alyssa Lockett. Her smile was so warm and her kindness was genuine. Alyssa was the young woman that was murdered at the Mill Creek Greenway in October of 2024 while she was doing her evening jog. And I'm an advocate for jogging. I used to do that a mile to 3 miles daily. I have since stopped doing that. But it was a senseless murder, to say the least, even though she was in the Green Wave area, and that really hit close to home for me. So now I'd like to talk about my abusive relationship and the resources I utilized. My 4-year relationship was inflicted on me by a man who claimed to love me and couldn't live without me. He was mentally, economically, verbally, and financially, physically abusive. But at the end of the day, he just wanted total control of me. I was afraid, I was embarrassed, and I felt hopeless. My questions to myself, who could I tell with this? Would I ruin the perception of my great relationship? Well, as this continued on, the last and the final incident left me with a broken nose, 2 black eyes, bruised ribs, and back. I vividly remember him telling me that he was going to kill me, and his eyes, they turned jet black. I was choked until I lost consciousness briefly, and when I woke, I finally decided when I could run and leave the house, I left with a bloody nose, a bloody nightgown, and I went to my neighbor's house to call 911. At that point in time, that's when Detective Jared Esther with the Metro Nashville Police Department and the other first responders, like EMS personnel, they acted with such compassion. My mind was confused, and I didn't know where to start with the help that I needed. The EMS personnel told me that it was best for me to go to the ER. That night, I did not want to go because I was so afraid. And she was like, well, there's a possibility you may drown in your blood because I can't tell you for sure if you have a broken nose. So I still refused. I slept with pillows lifted up, but the next morning I did go. So this led to my encounter with the Family Safety Center and the Family Intervention Program. The Family Safety Center provided me with this purple folder here, okay? Lot of information. Resources, food assistance, rent, and utility assistance. There is a wealth of information in this purple folder that I have. But it took me a while to work through it. So this also led me to be connected with the Family Intervention Program and Laura Beth Harbin, a counselor with Metro Nashville Police Department. She was and still is my lifeline. I truly believe that we entertain angels unaware, and Laura Beth is my angel. Laura Beth is still actively my therapist, and she will tell you it was a struggle at first. It took several telephone conversations and emails to decide on a weekly day and time for us to meet. Laura Beth was persistent. Finally, the first day came for our initial therapy session, where I began my journey of learning to accept myself as a compassionate mess. During the first few months of therapy, I learned that trauma of any kind will affect your brain and how you process things. So I constantly stayed hypervigilant about my safety. I was checking the windows, the doors, every few minutes. I was so afraid that he would come back. I needed a way to escape. So at that time, Laura Beth and I got together, and she helped me with a safety plan. The strategy was strategic and effective. It gave me a way to get out of this situation. I realized that I had support at that time from my family and a sense of control over my life, especially since the threat of my perpetrator wanting to kill me was constantly on replay in my mind. I know I had the support and a plan to leave the relationship at that point. So I packed an overnight bag that I kept in my car. And I had family members that I could stay with in case I needed to leave immediately. Laura Beth has made herself available sometimes through the week in the beginning when I was having panic attacks and anxiety when I was at work. I had layers of issues that had to be worked through. And I love plants, so I love the plants, I love the way they grow, and I love to take care of the plants. So Laura Beth, she gave me a clipping of a plant that she has in her office. I took it home, and every week when we would have our therapy session, that was one of the things that we would talk about, is how the plant was growing and how to keep it growing. And so now my plant is thriving and flourishing. Laura Beth also suggested group therapy. Now, I went a couple of times, but I didn't like it. I will not go into details, but I did not like that. So she also suggested that I start using a stress ball, and that's the best thing that she could have ever came up with, because I still use that today as I'm driving, my stress ball. Laura Beth suggested YouTube videos pertaining to codependency and coping skills, and also several books. I'm an avid learner. I love to read, and I purchased those books through Amazon. I still reference them from time to time, and she also suggested me being involved in other activities here in Nashville, which led to me taking a watercoloring class offered through an organization called Infinite Possibilities. It's at 100 Taylor Street, I just want y'all to know. And that's a nice community, Germantown. I love that area. So, and I also remember when I first started therapy, I was asking her about going to the YMCA. I love working out, and that would be a way for me to feel safe on the inside of a building. But that was not a service that was offered. So I know the Family Intervention Program offers bus passes. But I would like to challenge the powers that be to please invest in free passes to the YMCA, because the mental and physical are connected as well as spiritual. I believe this would also help survivors of domestic violence to find other avenues to deal with stress that this trauma has caused us. Last week, I was out 8th Avenue South, and I remembered a woman's gym. It's a nonprofit organization that I had a privilege of participating in, and it's called the New Beginnings Center. Tash Whittleton is the CEO and founder of this women's-only group, the New Beginnings Center. She is committed to improving the health and well-being of women. The mission is to empower women, discover their strength both inside and out through personalized coaching in fitness, nutrition, and mental well-being. She had asked me to speak, and which I will get to that during her. The New Beginning Center offers free workshops, free workout classes in the community at different locations around Nashville. The community center is located on the website, and they normally have over 85% of the participants they attend for free. So now at this time, I would just like to utilize and let you all know the services that I also utilized while I was transitioning from my abusive partner. First, I contacted the Tennessee Coalition to End Domestic and Sexual Violence. I will be doing name dropping today. So I spoke with a Miss Shannon. She helped me fill out paperwork, and the Tennessee Coalition, they paid the balance of my rent so I could break my lease and move to a safe and secure location. Charity, the Catholic Charities Diocese of Nashville, Donna Burks, she explained services to me. Then I have Metro Social Service and Metro Safe Haven. Ms. Kyla Harrison helped supplement the deposit for my new apartment. Urban Housing Solutions, Ms. Markova, she helped me find a safe place to live. Victims Compensation, they helped pay all my doctor bills. The District Attorney's Office and staff constantly followed up with me and kept me informed about my court case. I would like to honorably mention Room in the Inn, Ms. Beth, and the late Mr. Strobel, the Nashville Rescue Mission, Ms. Emma, YWCA Women's Shelter. In conclusion, I would like to say I am grateful and I sincerely appreciate the Metro Nashville Police Department's professionalism, protection, and human acts of kindness that was given to me through my trauma. My faith, my family, and the resources that provided for me to enable me to get my life back together. It has been a long, long journey, and the journey still continues. It is rare, but I still do have flashbacks of the trauma, as well as my hypervigilance with my personal safety. But I have techniques that I use that Laura Beth has taught me. So I've never, and I want everybody to know this, never suffer in silence. There is hope, there is help. And just like that plant clipping that I have, I'm growing and I'm flourishing. I'm grateful that God has spared my life and put angels around me here on earth to help me navigate the trauma so I can be an example, that beacon of hope for other victims, male and female. I'm going to leave here today with my legacy motto: you will survive, you will thrive. Shoot for the moon. If you don't make it to the moon, you'll always be with the stars. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. This concludes the words of appreciation for the wonderful people in our audience today. Would you please give yourselves one more round of applause for being here? And now, if you please stand for the benediction from Chaplain Brown. After the benediction, we hope you'll stay for refreshments and fellowship. Chaplain Brown.
God, I lift up every person here. And God, as they serve those who are left raw and vulnerable, strengthen and empower them to be of service. What better way to show God's love to others than by serving? I ask that you always give them vision, that they can see the bigger picture of their work. When they help one, in essence, that touches a multitude. God, keep their hearts humble and pure and to always show love and grace in all that they do. Help them to always be prepared for the calling that lies before them. I ask that you nurture their gifts. It is a true blessing to be called to serve. Proverbs 31:8-9 says, "Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute. Speak up and judge fairly. Defend the rights of the poor and needy." Thank you and bless you for fulfilling these words of old. Again, I say thank you, and may God bless and keep you. Amen.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.